Good morning and welcome to Masterful Mornings. I've just turned on my podcast as well, and we're also here on Facebook Live. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. And today we're going to be talking about expansion and just expanding into that love space, which is the universe. That space of love, that space in our hearts, that space that's all out there. Good morning, Joyanne, is the universe. It's that source. It's God. It's Allah. It's whatever you want to call that higher power. So we're going to talk a bit about that this morning. We always go through life. Good morning, Arena. Seeking. We're looking for something, right? We're looking for love. We're looking for success. We're looking for something. And good morning, Karen. The most interesting part of it is that we always forget. And when I mean we, I'm speaking in general. If you're someone that is always conscious of this is wonderful. But we tend to forget the power that we have. Good morning, Becky. Good morning, Sam. So yesterday, a really interesting thing happened. Yesterday, I wanted to test. I wanted to test this power. So what did I do? I did a little bit of research. Good morning, Tina. I did a little bit of research, hooked up with a friend of mine who does this, and took myself into that expansion, into that universe, which we're going to do today, but took myself into that expansion, that universe, forgot about this body, forgot about what I was holding in my hand. Good morning, Danielle. And I was holding a spoon in my hand. And I took myself into this expansion with the intention that we are all energy. Therefore, I can manipulate energy, and what I believe to be true will happen. So I took myself and this spoon out into that energy. And within a few moments, I took the spoon, took the thing, and it bent just like that. Because my intention was to bend the spoon. Could I have used all of my effort and reefed on the spoon? Absolutely. But that's not what happened. I put the spoon in my hand. I knew how much pressure it would take to really bend it. But I just took it and I was just with the palm of my hand against the spoon, and boom, it came down. Why? Because we have incredible power. Because we can do anything that we set our minds to, that we believe that we can do. I became one with energy. I became one with the spoon. I manifested it, and it happened. The feeling I felt inside of me afterwards, already knowing, good morning, Ronnie and Raman. The feeling that I felt inside of me, knowing that I did this with energy. I already know this stuff, right? I know it. I talk about it. I know it. But to actually see myself do it in that moment, exactly what I wanted to do, was empowering. I allowed myself to feel the universe and the love of the universe. Now, today's podcast is about that face of expansion, about expanding into love. We came from a place of love. And when I say this, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching at you, but we did. Each one of us is that thought, that expression of that energy, of that higher power. And yes, do we have our individuality, our identity? Yeah, in this body. But our energy is connected to something bigger. We are part of that oneness. And I think this is where I had this conversation with someone yesterday. And I think this is where the confusion lies. And you're entitled to believe whatever it is you believe, or however you package that up for yourself. But I'm going to tell you what I believe. Danielle, you are not blocked. you may be blocked. Let me rephrase that. But it's something that you can clear if you choose to make the decision to clear it. Good morning, Angela and Miko. And what I mean by that, and I'm just going off base here for a second, someone's writing that they're feeling blocked. A lot of us feel that. There's always blockages. I went to a workshop a few weeks ago and cleared a blockage I didn't even know I had, because I'm constantly working on myself. But sometimes we need help clear those blockages. And that is something that people need to understand. When we're all caught up in our own stuff, it's hard for us to expand. It's hard for us to see. It's hard for us to sense that we can actually do this. So just because you are blocked doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means that you need to clear some of those blockages. And that doesn't mean that you have to do it alone. Okay, there's a reason why there's more than one person on this planet. And it's for more than just reproduction of a species. We're here to connect with each other. Humans need to connect. We are here to be here for each other. So asking for help, asking for assistance, it's still you doing the work. But sometimes we can't see the light in our own path. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. So just saying, okay, I need this so that I can move on to the next piece. Beautiful. Yes, you can do it. Okay. The universe and the power is always expanding. That universe that's infinite just becomes more infinite, if that makes sense. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and expanding with all the things that we want, with all the things that we send out into the law of attraction. We're expanding that universe. And it's not just us. It's any life forms in this planet that are working on expanding, that are wanting things, that are desiring things. Right? And Danielle, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. So if you feel like booking a free consult with me, please go ahead. Let's chat. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's okay to reach out. It's okay to reach out. I do it. I reached out yesterday to learn how to bend a spoon, right? We all reach out because I wanted to see myself do it. I didn't want to just know that I could do it. I wanted to do it. Okay? So, Source is also always in a state of increased expression. So that means we are too. Okay? As this universe increases its expression and seeking and growing, so are we. So are we and what we are able to do. Okay? We are born into this world empowered. As a baby, you're welcome, Danielle. As a baby, we don't think about what we can't do. You know, we're all up and everything's about me and I can do it, right? And let me do that. And it's always about learning. But somehow along the way, we forget that. We forget that because other people are feeding us their ability to be disempowered. People tell us what we can and can't do. Right? Good morning, Rob. People tell us what we can and can't do. And we believe them. Okay, so here's my statement, and I'm not being rude to anyone. We believe these people. Who are these people? They're also people with blockages. They're also people who feel disempowered. They're also people who feel like they can't. They are people who feel like they are limited. So we're basing our belief system on people, on beliefs that tell us that we are limited. We are basing our belief system on a system that tells us in social media that we are separate, that there is good, there is bad, there is ugly. There is black, there is white, there is yellow. There's constant separation. There is Muslim, there's Catholic, there is Jewish. Our whole system is set up to be separate. But we aren't. I think of us as threads off the same cloth. Each one of us is a thread off that same cloth. Right? That same energy. So we were all born as geniuses, empowered, knowing that we could do anything. And we became disempowered. And we feel unworthy. And wow, look at how they can do that, but I can't. Who said? Who said you can't? You know, and that place where it's coming from, that source that's telling you that you can't, how do they know? Because they can't. Because someone told them that they can't. And it just goes on and on. This, in humanity, we've been told for years, eons, that we can't. But we can. We're coming into a new age, into a new time of awakening. We are starting to understand who we are. And I think that we are still infants in this. And there's some people who know a little more and some people who know a little less and some people who are getting it and some people who are being able to expand with it. But we are infants. So allow yourself to be that infant and expand. Go back to I can do anything. Go back to I can do anything. My pleasure, Miko. So we think that we're sitting still. This is how we forget what we know. We think we're sitting still. Meanwhile, this planet is hurling through space. But we think we're sitting still. We know this planet rotates. We know that it spins. We know that it moves into this orbit. We know that it's orbiting the sun inside this huge universe that's constantly moving and expanding. But yet we think we're sitting still. We're not. We're hurling through space. This is our spacecraft. We are hurling through space. We are constantly in motion. We are constantly in motion. So allowing yourself to feel that motion and move with that constant growth and expression and desire. You are allowed to want. You are allowed to desire. The one thing that I have learned through manifesting things is that sometimes, and I made the mistake of this as well, is I would manifest the outcome. So I was like everyone else, a lot of other people, and I want lots of money and a great big house and all this stuff. But what I should have been manifesting, that should have just been the outcome of what I wanted. I had to manifest what I'm doing now. I had to manifest the fact that I am going to make, I want to, and I will make an impact on humanity. I will make an impact, a massive impact on my own life. And it doesn't matter if only 2 people are listening, because tomorrow it'll be 3 and 4, and that's what I'm manifesting. That if I can make a handful of people understand, and then they can make a handful of people understand, or see things differently. They might not see it exactly like me, and that's okay. But to be able to open your mind, to be able to open your heart and say, I got this. I got this. Right? I can do this. Good morning, Nancy. So depression is huge right now. It's rampant in this world right now, on this hurling planet, on this hurling world, as we're hurling through space. Depression is rampant right now. It's become trendy to walk around and be depressed and anxious. Are you joking? It is not trendy to be depressed. It's not trendy to feel bad. It's not trendy to hold yourself back and suppress yourself. There's nothing trendy about that. It's the actual opposite of expansion. It's making yourself small. Who is that hurting? If you're depressed, are you hurting me? You're hurting yourself. You're making yourself small. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? Part of your journey is to step out of this, to overcome your obstacles, to overcome what's holding you back. If we all came to this planet knowing everything that we could do with no obstacles whatsoever, things would just happen for us, what would be the point? We would be living in a nirvana, and what would be the point? What would we learn? What would the experience be? What would be the purpose of that? All of our wanting and our needing and our desiring is expanding this universe. That's the purpose, and we're to overcome that. I keep using the example of those military, what are they called? The boot camps where they make them do these tracks, right? And they'll be climbing those ropes to get to the other side. We're climbing. We are climbing to get to the other side. If we just could walk it, what would be the point? So depression is not possible when you can take yourself to a place of inspiration. Inspiration means in spirit. Good morning, Penelope. X-Apps, good morning. So being in that space of inspiration, you can't possibly be depressed. Those two things can't live in the same space. Right? So take yourself to a place of creativity, of inspiration, and feel yourself expand. Take those silly little ideas that are running around in your head about what you think you can do and what you would like to do to create change. They're not silly. Expand them. Work on them. Some of them will work, some of them won't. But don't just let them sit there doing nothing. Expand on them. The only reason why they're sitting there doing nothing is because you are fearful. Have some enthusiasm. Where does the word enthusiasm come from? It comes from a Greek word called entheos. Entheos means the God within. So have some enthusiasm in your world. Have some inspiration. Live your life inspired and enthusiastic. So in spirit and in theos. Good morning, Lori. And you will see things change. Nothing will change when you keep yourself suppressed. And do you feel blocked? Okay. Things happened in your world. It's okay that you're blocked, but it's not okay that you stay blocked. Okay. It's okay that you have triggers. It's okay that you have some limiting beliefs, but it's not okay that you keep yourself there. That is completely disrespectful to yourself. That invalidates you. That suppresses you. That keeps you from expanding. That keeps you from being in theos, enthusiastic. That keeps you from being inspired in spirit. So why are you holding yourself back? What's the purpose of that? If you can come up with a really good reason, I'd love to hear it. So ask yourself, what makes this state of being that I'm in right now for my highest and best? If you can answer that irrefutably with an amazing answer, I would honestly love to hear it. Please contact me. I want to hear it. I really, really do. So when you feel connected, enthusiastic, in theos, it takes over. Right? Think about things in your life that you were doing, either in school or whatever, that you were like so pumped up about. Imagine feeling that every day. Imagine feeling that for most of your life. Are obstacles going to show up? Yes, don't kid yourself. Of course they are, but you're going to be better prepared to deal with them. Okay? So you can't be enthusiastic and depressed at the same time. It's just really not possible. Okay? Everything is energy. Everything is energy. We have power. So it's right now you have a choice. I've talked about choices and decisions. Do you choose to utilize that power? Is that your choice? Or do you choose to stay the way that you are? Because you're choosing it. Nobody is doing this to you. You are choosing this. We love to blame other people. This person did this to me. My parents did that to me. Listen, I was one of those people. I completely get it. It was easy to put it off to someone else. If you're not sure how to break the blockage, so Lori says it's because I'm not sure how to break through the blockage. That's okay, because that's why people like me are in the world, the catalysts of this world, the people that are here to help you break through that blockage. Now the question becomes, how bad do you want to do it? How valuable is that to you? Does breaking that blockage have value to you so that you can move on to the next piece? Just because you don't know how to doesn't mean somebody else doesn't. If my car is broken, I don't try to fix it myself. I don't know how. I'm sure if I sat down and studied it for a long time, I could figure it out. But why when I can just go to a mechanic? Right? If I need my hair cut, I'm not going to try and do it myself. Right? I go to someone who knows how to do it. So if you have a blockage and you don't know how to do it and you don't know how to clear it, then go to someone who does, who can help you with this and teach you how to do it. Right? Not just do it for you, but teach you how to do it, give you the portable tools that you need to do it. Because you can. So it's about learning this or having someone do it for you. You know, I know how to clear my own blockages, but I'm not going to lie. I love getting someone else to do it for me because then I can just focus on doing it and not on the process. Let someone else take me through the process and I can zero in on focus on what I need to focus on. So there's no shame in that. We do it all day long. Your fridge breaks, you call the refrigerator guy, the appliance repairman. It's the same thing. There's a hole in your roof. You call a roofer. You don't go up there and try and do it yourself unless you know how. For some reason, we have value in our stuff. We will get our stuff fixed. But when it comes to ourselves, we put ourselves on the back burner. And that keeps you suppressed. That keeps you small. Why do you do that? And I mean that not just to you, Lori, but to everyone. Why would you do that to yourself? What is the purpose of that? How will that ever help you get where you want to get? You are more important than your stuff. Because if everything you owned burnt down or got taken away from you, you're still left with you. You cannot get away from you. You just can't. That's more important than anything. So we have to reshift our priorities. And if we want to be better parents and better role models, then we need to do what we want the younger generation to do. We need to show them how to do it. We need to tell them that this is the way to live. Having stuff is great, but it's temporary and instant gratification. Once you walk into that big dream house every single day, what value does it have for you anymore? You already conquered that. But this can keep growing. This can keep expanding. This can keep making a massive impact on the world. But in order to set yourself up to do that, you need to deal with your own stuff first. You know, you need to practice what you preach. Who is going to go to a hairdresser that has horrible hair? Or who is going to go to a mechanic whose car is clinking and clunking and put together with electrical tape? You need to be the role model. You need to live what you want to show and to teach in this world. And we're all teachers. We teach our children, we teach our friends, we're always teaching somebody something. But don't you want to teach them empowerment? When a boss or an executive of a company goes through his company and his business one day because he's in a bad mood and walks around and disempowers everybody and tells everybody what a crappy job they're doing, you can do better than that. I need you to do that faster. You didn't do enough today. That person lives in disempowerment, because somebody who comes from an empowering nature, somebody who comes from a place of love, can still get those things done that need to be done, but in an empowering way. You can still deliver the message. If someone is not living up to their potential, there's ways of empowering them to do it, not yelling at them and disempowering them. That's not going to work. That's going to make them live in fear and then do that to someone else. That's what you teach them when we do that. So what lessons do you want to teach? What lessons are you teaching your children now? What things have you said and done that you wish you never had? And how can you change that? So you know that you are in an extreme state of non-expansion when you live in depression, worry, anxiety. I want you to imagine a stick person. Everybody can imagine what a stick person looks like, right? So imagine this stick person. And we're going to do some basic 101 energy movement here, okay? So imagine this stick person, and imagine from the head of this person, there's always energy that flows from the brain. The energy moves around into the body. There's information delivered from the body back up to the brain. There's this continual flow of motion, like this big circle of energy that goes, because information is energy. So there's this flow of energy that keeps moving round and round. Now we add some worry into that. I worried about something today. Well, one strand, if you think about all that energy, like millions of strands of hair, one strand of that energy has now slowed down. And then I worried about it 2 times, 3 times today. I worry about this thing 4 times a day for the last 6 months. Each one of that piece of worry, each time I worried, is one more strand of hair, one more strand of energy. And it's cumulative. They start to clump together. Okay? Now you've got some energy that's flowing freely, and you've got this bunch of this other energy that's slowed right down. And that slow energy, after a certain amount of time, becomes a substance. It actually gets a kind of a weight or a substance to it. And then that creates illness in the body. Very little of our illnesses are not energy-based. Even when they're environmental, they're still energy-based. Hereditary, it's still energy being passed down to energy. So all of a sudden you have all this worry. You've worried about something for so long that you've caused yourself a heart attack, or you've caused yourself fibromyalgia, or you've caused yourself a cancer. It's been proven that 1% of cancer is hereditary. The rest is environmental, or we asked for it. We caused it ourselves. Good morning, Gail. So look at the power that we have. Now let's look at this for a second. If you can power yourself, if you have so much power that you can make yourself unexpanded or non-expanded, and you can make yourself ill, then you have the same power to expand yourself and make yourself well. It's not a one-way street. If you did it, you can undo it. You have that power. You have that ability. You just think you don't, but you do. Okay? You just need to learn how to do it. But you absolutely can. Think of it like a beam of a flashlight. You put this beam down on this worry or whatever until like you created this illness either in your body or a depression in your mind. What if you just change where the beam is going? You just change the focus of the flashlight. Everything begins to change. Hi, Pat. Good morning. Everything begins to change. We've got some people coming in on the podcast too. Good morning, Naveen, Ms. Mac. So understand what you are, not who you are, what you are. This who piece is a very small piece of the whole puzzle. Okay? You have control over this piece. So begin to listen carefully to your own wisdom inside. That voice that's inside that's trying to tell you, the one that's down here, not this one, not the one in your head, the one that's in your gut, and just listen to it because it's trying to tell you something. It doesn't scream at you like the one in your head. It doesn't yell at you like the one in your head. It doesn't. There are times that I've heard my voice in my gut yell at me loud because I've put myself in such a dangerous position that I've heard it go, get out of here. Like I can feel it scream. But generally speaking, that voice is quiet. But you have to listen. And the only way that you can listen is to expand. The only way that you can really hear it is to expand. The only way that you can gain control over the voice in your head and listen to the one in your gut that always wants the best for you is to expand. And if you have blockages, if you have triggers that are in your way, if you have gone through a traumatic life, if things have happened to you that are kind of standing in your way and have created a lot of fear, I get it. That's your story. But there's lessons to be learned in that. And one of those lessons is that now you need to overcome that. That means that you may need help to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, think of yourself like the car. If the car is broken, if the engine is not running, if it won't start, if it's clunking and clinking, you will take it to a mechanic. But understand this. If you go for help from anyone, you need someone who works like me in a whole body approach, because we are not just mind, we are not just body, and we are not just energy. We are all of these things. So you need someone who is going to work with you on all of those platforms, because that's how you do a whole being healing. Okay, so that's my gift to you today. My special piece of information that says you got this, you can do this, and don't be afraid to go for help. And you matter the most, more than the stuff that you own. The stuff that you own doesn't go with you. The stuff that you own, when people tell me, I got to buy this house, I got to buy this boat, I got to own, I got to own, I got to own. Really? You don't own anything. You really need to get your head around that. You actually don't own anything. It's all leased. Because the day that we transition into that other place, you're not taking it with you. So the only thing you own are your experiences, your knowledge, your understanding of expansion, that law of attraction, everything that you are, your experiences in this world, that's what you own. That's what you will take with you. That's what's important. That other stuff is just stuff. It's going to be here when you're gone. So we've become too involved in our stuff and less involved in who we are. You need to stop being a human doing and start being a human being. So have a fantastic day. Give it some thought. These masterful mornings are about to give you some people some aha moments, maybe to open up an epiphany for you, to open up an avenue for you, to make you see something maybe in a different way, a way that you've never seen it before. I love when those moments happen. When I talk to someone and they tell me something and I'm like, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. That's amazing. That empowers you even more. So allowing that to happen for you, and not just take that information and don't do anything with it. take the information and move, be enthusiastic, be inspired, be in spirit with it, be enthused with it, be in theos with it, with the God within. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. Thank you again for joining me. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, and you're going to have a great day today. I just know it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.